I don't know. So we're currently on
our table of followers. What's up, guys? My name is Timmy13, and with me is John Sonic.
As always, good to see you guys.
This is
Thank
the
you
stage
for coming out.
Unhinged. We were just talking, so now you guys should all know what the stage Unhinged is by now, right?
I think so.
I hope so. Except for everybody back there. So a quick synopsis of what the stage Unhinged is. We are a podcast it's twofold. One, we're here to help musicians grow in any way that we possibly can. And number two is we're here to give the general public, this sucks. We're here to give the general public
an idea of what it's like to be in a band, what it takes to put on a production, what it takes to, book shows, to get gigs. Where do you want to play? What do you need in order to do that? And that leads into today's episode 3 is all about booking. How do you get the gig? And we will dive deep into that. We've got 2 guests with us tonight. We have with us Paul Barber,
who is actually the owner of Ziggy's Hudson.
Right on. And books all of the live music here and elsewhere. And so we'll get his perspective from somebody who books music. What are you looking for? If you're in a band and you want to go talk, you want to get booked at a bar, what do you need to know? What they want to know from you, what they need to see from you. So that's a very important perspective. And then we've got Brian Tooney, a longtime musician, songwriter, and we'll get his perspective on what it's been like throughout the years to book gigs your own. How do you get those gigs? How do you approach those people who book the clubs? And
it is probably, I would say, one of the most tedious parts of being in a band.
It is. You want to just jam and rock and live the lifestyle, but you can't. You got to do the business in order to get there.
So before we dive into all that, let's talk a little bit about the Ziggy's All-Stars.
Absolutely. But even before we get there, let's talk about our sponsors.
Absolutely.
So we are...
And before we get there, no, I'm just kidding.
We're going to go all the way back to the day I was born. It was 7:44 in the morning on Friday, March 8th, 1974.
No, that doesn't correlate with the picture you posted today on Facebook. That was 1956.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. No, so we are here at Ziggy's Live Music in Hudson, Wisconsin, just over the river from Minnesota. I like to say this is Minnesota light.
It's kind of an extension.
It really is.
Of Minnesota.
It doesn't even feel like being in Wisconsin.
It's one of the greatest places to come to for live music.
You can come over here and not feel like, you need to have bratwurst.
It's a Viking bar.
It is a Viking bar.
That's right.
We'll be here on some Monday nights in the fall, I think. We'll be
That depends on how the draft goes here in a couple of days.
Prelude to the Monday Night Football game. Yeah. So Ziggy's Live Music in Hudson is where we put on this show, and we've got big ideas to grow this show. We want to get live musicians to come in and perform. They can play while we are on commercial breaks. They can play during our recordings and get their music out to the public because that's what we're about.
Original artists.
Musicians.
Original artists.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what else?
Our second sponsor.
Yeah. Hop and Barrel.
Hop and Barrel.
Next door is a brewery, and if you're not familiar, they make a full line.
We have an array. We'll have Alexa up a little bit later to talk about this.
Again. Yeah. We'll have plenty of guests. But if you're watching this on your computer or your phone, you really want to come down here and be a part of it because we've got prizes. We got gift cards. So, you can get dinner here, have some drinks.
And not just that, what you're seeing on the computer or TV, however you watch it, you're getting an edited version.
Right.
We're gonna keep some of the cool stuff for live only. I mean,
absolutely. When we've got guest musicians in here, they'll be playing to our house audience. So you definitely want to be a part of that.
And I get coming to Ziggy's, get the Unhinged burger.
Yeah, how about that?
burger that was developed and then renamed for us, because that's, if you've ever seen a picture of it, which is on our Facebook, it is Unhinged. And pair that with a great hop and barrel, and there you go.
Right? It's a perfect pairing. And I've had the Unhinged burger. It really is fantastic.
So good. So good. So before we get any further, I want to start off with a little bit of a sad note, I guess. You'll notice episode 2 that we had with Beth, which was an excellent episode, and she was a great guest. There's no video content.
Yeah.
It's only audio, and that is due to technology failure. It wasn't anything that we did. Technology sometimes sucks. So my external hard drive failed. I spent a few days trying to get it back up. John spent a few days trying to get it back up. So unfortunately, as of right now, we have lost the contents that are on that video. I have talked to a couple people from the jams also. Some Jam 18 was Jam 18 and 19 were on that. So if you've gotten videos and I haven't been able to reach out to you, make sure you reach out to me, and I'll make sure that we get it taken care of. However, we have made some changes to make sure that that does not happen again. This time, instead of 1 external hard drive, I now have 6 external hard drives. And it's for each project. So if I lose one thing, which I'd still be sad about, I'm not going to lose something else. So
yeah, we'll back up.
I truly apologize for that. A lot of tears were shed. One of the first people I messaged was John. Like, what do I do? And we're still working and hoping that we can get it back.
For now,
don't
buy SanDisk G drives
at all. It's not a good idea.
My opinion may change. We'll see.
Doubtful.
Depends on SanDisk and how they respond.
Yet to be determined. We'll keep you up to date on that story as it's developing.
Yeah, I'm confident we will get the video feed from that episode. It may just take time. So be patient with us. And now we can continue on. Now we can talk jam.
Ziggy's Jam. We had just had Jam 20. And I just want to take a minute to talk about Last Minute Heroes.
Yeah.
They were fun.
They were
a lot of fun. And I'm not saying that none of the bands that come up to the showcase are fun, but some that really stand out to me with how they put their songs together or their stage presence. And they were definitely one of the ones that stood out. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the big things is their professionalism, and we'll get into this in a future episode about how to perform, how to be on stage. But you notice between songs, they weren't standing around looking at each other, looking at their feet, deciding what they're playing next, asking each other what they're playing next.
Editing, and I edited a lot of that video. And yeah, it is song to song to song to song. There's almost no lag time in the middle.
A really perfect flow, which is that's what you want to achieve in your show.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the another thing that I saw for me was the first time. You had a stage full of singers for Sweet Emotion.
We sure did.
Jake
was
on the stage for that one. And actually what's funny is I was editing the audio. You must have had a mic right in front of you because your voice is cutting through over everybody else's. But it's with all of those voices doing that backup in the harmony, it sounded really good.
Absolutely. And Renegade, we had a 4-part harmony.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And
so those are some of my takeaways.
Yeah, it was great. We had some new songs at the gym, and it just keeps growing. You know, we've had over 130 songs played so far. We've had about 145 different musicians come up on stage and
are we at one? I was actually wondering that just the other day. Where are we at? Where are you at as far as how many musicians are up?
It's about 145.
So let's get to 150. Get your friends up there.
We'll be there by next week.
Will we really?
Yeah, well, we might be at 160, but
I almost feel like that should be a party in itself. So when we get to 200, we have to do something special.
All right.
200. So tell your friends, get your mom out. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't been out yet, it's a great atmosphere. Whether you're a musician, a singer, or just a fan of live music, I really think it's such a great show
It's so much
that
fun.
I love being part of it, and I'm just continually blown away by how well it goes week in, week out.
Absolutely. Sometimes I mean I'm always there recording. Sometimes I wish I could just watch because the performances are so good. That's like I can't always just be in the moment. I have to pay attention to everything that's going on stage with every member, and it's hard to and it's cool to go back and watch it though. Be like, oh my god, I remember that, and that was so awesome.
Right, right. Yeah. So let's look ahead to the future.
That's right. This week,
This week, 2 days from now, Wednesday, April 24th, will be our very first jam here at Ziggy's Live Music in Hudson.
that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to being upstairs, introducing some of these people to their second stage they've ever performed on, and just really giving a feel of we're taking it on the road now.
I like taking it on. I like that. I like that. That's cool. So we got that coming up. What time is that?
That is this Wednesday, 7 to 10. So come out. You'll see about a dozen different singers. It's truly a great, I think they're heartwarming performances every time because
It's so much fun.
everybody truly cares about everyone else. And there's so much camaraderie
and
and support.
I can't say that enough. That the camaraderie, the support, the anybody that goes up on stage, it doesn't matter your level of experience, you are gonna feel like an absolute rock star by the time you get off stage because of the people that are there to support it and support you. You're gonna feel amazing.
Absolutely. And we're here now to help you grow that. 1 week from Wednesday, we'll be back in Stillwater on May 1st. And that one is that's going to be a special night as well. We've got a guest guitarist, Logan Stoliker. He will be moving in May to Nashville to pursue a music career. And if you haven't seen him, Logan is a phenomenal guitar player. And he's bringing some of his friends he's played with. And this is going to be truly a great show.
We are gonna take a ride on down to backcountry. That much I know.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of our featured
makes Patsy happy when I say that.
our featured guest guitarist series that we're running, we did talk about it last time. Wednesday night here at Ziggy's Live in Hudson, we've got Jeff Rutland from Pop Rocks. So that's going to be fantastic.
Nice. And then Logan on the first.
Logan on the first. Yeah, we are rolling and rocking.
Cool. Well, so I wanted to ask you. You did the new thing with the jam drop.
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Well, it worked out. People signed up. Too many people signed up.
Isn't that a pretty usual thing though?
It is, yeah. But it's different. In the past, I would announce when it's going to be dropped, and it would be full in 10 minutes. So it's people were complaining that I couldn't make it in that 10 minutes. Well, I don't know. We'll try different things. So we have been trying different things. This week it was I left it open for an entire day and took all the submissions and said, I'll get back to you on whether it's in or not. And we're prioritizing new members. So if you've been trying and you haven't been able to get in, that was your opportunity to sign up. And we'd move you to the front of the line and say, hey, yeah, let's give you a shot.
Absolutely.
Become part of this. Let's keep growing. And, the regulars and everyone else have been awesome about it. And they've been promoting it as well and trying to get new people to come in. And
I'm just saying, Ryan,
really
you
inclusive.
had a post that was actually really heartfelt in trying to get people out and get them on stage. That was really cool. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
The other thing what was that? Absolutely. I mean, that's where you started, right? All right, get somebody else out there. The other thing I want to reiterate is that when you're coming to this jam, there's no rehearsal.
No.
I mean, whether it's the house band or whether it's a stage full of random musicians, it's you're going to get what you're going to get. There's no rehearsal.
Yeah,
and
it's
99% of the time,
yeah.
maybe I'm being generous, but 99% of the time it comes out amazing.
And I'll tell you, man, that anxiety drives the energy in the room, and it really is palpable. I tell you, the house band, all hand selected, they're talented musicians and they're great people. But every time I get up on stage and we all talk to each other like we've never played this song before, let's see what happens.
Sometimes you get a punk rock song out of it, ain't that right, Ryan?
But that nervous energy really fuels some great performances.
It does, and it also again goes back to the audience supporting and helping to bring it alive.
Absolutely,
feed off that energy.
All right, let's move into talking about booking.
So we've already talked about starting your band.
Yeah,
we had Beth on, and we talked about marketing, which that episode is available audio only. There's some great insights in there. So now that you've started your band, you've marketed your band, it's time to get out and play.
And I will mention that starting your band only needs to happen once. Marketing your band needs to happen forever.
Constantly.
As long as you are in that band, you should be marketing it as often as you can. Any opportunity you get a chance to promote who you are and what you're doing is a chance to make your audience bigger. And that's what we want. When you play in front of an audience that's big and paying attention and focused, it's so easy to be up on stage and to be a rock star. I've always said I would rather play in front of 100,000 people than 5. Because
wouldn't we all though?
Well, yeah, but I would get stage fright playing to 5 people. 1,000 people is energy that you can't help but become part of that energy.
That makes sense.
When that energy is not there, you see in people's eyes and you see them as individuals. And then you start to fear, what are they thinking about? When it's a massive audience, they're just all having fun.
Right.
And so that makes it so much easier. So yeah, always be marketing your band.
And that includes all content, not just professional video, like Beth was saying, cell phone video. I mean, that's what they have. That's what they used, and it works. Give somebody an idea of what they're going to come see. Give people a want and or a need to come see you. Any live footage is always good. So I mean, I recommend that. But anything you can do to get your band or brand, out there, as Beth said, hard and aggressive.
Right. That's how she likes it. Her words, not mine.
Absolutely. That's going to haunt her forever.
It's out there. Once you put it out there,
booking.
You gotta live with it.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, show a video of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to have Paul Barber up first to talk about what he looks for.
We're going to have some very valuable information from both sides tonight.
And again, we are at his bar, Ziggy's Hudson, and it is one of the best places to play. And he has some of the best bands here. So this, definitely absolutely valuable information. So we'll be right back, and we'll have Paul Barber up.
The Stage Unhinged podcast is brought to you by Ziggy's Hudson Live Music Bar and Restaurant, as well as the Hop and Barrel, both located in Hudson, Wisconsin. Make sure you stop into Ziggy's Hudson Live Music Bar and Restaurant virtually every night of the week. They have something going on: karaoke, piano bar, and most importantly, live music. They also host us, the Stage Unhinged podcast, live every other Monday. Make sure you stop in, check out the podcast live, things you'll only see live, not on the edited version, as well as trying the Unhinged burger. While you're at it, go ahead and try one of the many offerings from Hop and Barrel. Their brews are brewed to perfection by owner Justin, and they taste amazing and pair well with just about anything. Make sure you get your Hop and Barrel beer while you're enjoying the Stage Unhinged podcast.
Welcome back to the Stage Unhinged. I am your host, Timmy13, with my partner in crime over here, John Sonic.
Hey.
Sitting in between us, we have the one and only Paul Barber. Let's give it up for Paul.
All right, a round for everybody that clapped.
All right.
Hey,
That is 2 beers.
you really want to come down to Ziggy's to
We
be
just
part of
lost
this
2
live
beers.
audience,
See, the being here live is the only way to do.
right?
Right.
So we got Paul here, and I mean, this is awesome. Paul, thank you for having us here, first of all.
Thank you guys. I'm a big supporter of live music, local live music. And that's one of our themes here is support local music. And
It's posted everywhere, and that's awesome. But he's the owner. He books the bands.
well, actually, there's more than just me, but I'd like to say I'm the operations manager. It's safer.
Either way,
right.
I know you're a busy guy. So let's talk booking.
Yeah, well, let's, I have a few things to say. First of all, when he says they support live music, they really do. And this is one of the greatest venues around to come and play and to feel like you're not just there to sell drinks. I mean, you are, but you really feel like you're part of this place. Like you're part of a family here. You come play here. And I have for years, and I've loved it every time. Now, I talked to Paul about booking. I tried to get Paul to book my band for years and years because he owned this bar, Ziggy's.
Which band?
Bootleg.
Okay.
He owned Stillwater Ziggy's. I'd send him emails, and I'd send him, promotional materials. And
Which I never got.
He claims he never got them.
If I would have
I must have missed
saw the
that.
video, honest to God, if I would have saw the video, I would have.
so one day my band is playing at Treasure Island Casino, and this guy comes up to me between sets. He's like, "Love you guys. Got to get you booked into my club. My name's Paul Barber. I own Ziggy's." I'm like, "You son of a bitch."
It's a true story. I dragged my poor wife everywhere.
Wow.
But it's a business, so keep at it.
And I was lucky because what a bootleg, what a tremendous band. And this guy right here, I don't know if there's a better frontman in the Twin Cities.
Hey, wow.
Well,
Thank you.
with that said, then let me ask this: what was it when they were performing? What was it that you said, "I got to have these guys at Ziggy's"? What did you see? What made you go up to them?
Well, we were on the other side of the casino, and I could hear a band playing. I go, God, that sounds almost like the real thing. Everything was spot on. What caught my attention, and to be really frank with you, what catches my attention more than anything was the vocals. I heard John's vocals, and I go, Jane, we got to go over there. She's like, okay. So I drag her. I took her to Nashville. We went to 27 shows in 7 days. I
Wow.
didn't think she'd ever talk to me again, but it's
I probably wouldn't have.
yeah. But I heard the vocals, and I go over there, and I stood there in the back with Jane, and I could not believe this guy. He owned the stage, and he had a tight band behind him, spot on. Every single person was a professional, but the vocals and the stage presence were like, I just had to have them when I heard that, just because it was you, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very good.
You guys have seen John perform, so you know what he's talking about. And you emphasize that so much at the jam too about stage presence and
Yeah.
owning the stage. So
All of that'll come too, and in further
Yeah.
future episodes, we'll talk all about that.
but it's big because and the reason why I bring it up now is because you never know who's watching.
Right?
You never know who's in the audience. There's no way John could have known that Paul was hanging out at Treasure Island
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, I'm going to make sure." You didn't know. All of a sudden, he's coming up to you, and
I don't know if that was the same night or not, but we were playing Treasure Island again, and my brother comes up to me after I'm done with the set and I'm doing stuff. He's like, "You got to come over here. Tommy Kramer wants to meet you." I'm like,
He's a great guy.
"Tommy Kramer, the Vikings quarterback from when I was a kid?" Yeah. You never know.
never know who's going to be at a show.
He'll be here. He'll be here again. We're the biggest Vikings. I don't know if people. We're the biggest Vikings bar in probably in the Midwest.
Certainly Wisconsin.
Certainly was.
The Vikings sent me a package and an email saying we've noticed what you're doing. We want to support you more, but because of NFL laws, we can't. Because legally you're in Wisconsin and the Packers on the rights. And I go, well, there ain't gonna be Packer shit in here. So.
Well, just get them to sponsor the stage Unhinged. We're out of Minnesota, so that's got to count, right?
Hey, yeah, there we go.
Get some beer and Tommy will be here.
Can't wait for those Monday night football games where we line up with the podcast.
Oh, that'll be good.
It's gonna. Well, again, we'll see how the draft goes. Then we'll determine how good it's gonna be.
I just can't wait for it to be over.
Oh,
so with that said, again, the idea is that you don't know who's ever going to be the show. But Paul, when you're bringing in bands, what do you look for? What do you demand?
When I book a band here, you know, the reason why I did this, I still have Barber Artist Management, BAM, it's called. And I was booking about 30 bands and managing about 5 of them. I would actually put bands together, handpick the people. I'd do their set lists, try to work with them. And then one thing I always told these kids was, you know, how people perceive you is what you become. So when you're up on stage, don't dress like you just got out of Lifetime Fitness.
So no cargo shorts?
Leave the cargo shorts at home.
Well, that's John. If you've ever seen John live, he dresses like a star, and he is a star, you know?
What about drummers, though?
I love drummers.
Can they wear cargo shorts?
Yeah, but they need to, because when you hit like a crazy man like Brandt over there, you know, you get really hot, you overheat.
We call him Tom Cruise.
He does look like Tom Cruise, doesn't he? Do you know I've known him since he came up to my knee? That's how old I am. His mom and I used to work together. Him and Ben would come in, and they could barely reach the desk where his mom was. And the nicest family in the world. He has wonderful parents.
What happened to you, Brandt?
That's another band, Audio Circus, which is in that class with Bootleg. They're professional. They put on a fantastic show. People love them. I love a band that people are as excited at 12:45 as they were at 9:30.
Right.
And that's what you get with these guys. And you know, if you got a bar out there and you're not booking Audio Circus, maybe you shouldn't be booking bands because they're that good.
Yeah, there you go.
What a great plug for Audio Circus.
Plus, they're really nice.
It helps to be in the audience.
As soon as I post this video, they're going to take that clip and throw it all over all of their social media.
It's all about marketing.
That's right. And that's some of the best marketing you can get right there.
You're listening.
Yeah. But kind of, you know,
That's
it's
good.
just, when I was doing this, I truly love music. I drove my parents nuts when I was little, you know. My
too,
brother
as a
was
drummer.
the Beach Boys, my sister was the Beatles, and here I come along and I'm the Stones. And my parents were like, you know, oh God, you know. And so I remember things in life through a song, and I'm just very music is pretty much everything to me, you know. And so when I retired from real estate, I was bored, and but I was always pretty good at marketing, you know, and I knew music. So I had there used to be a band called Saving Stars in this area that had a huge draw, really good kids, nice musicians. And he kept telling me about this young kid named Marcus Lear. And I said, you got to see this kid. And I go, well, why? And he goes, well, you love music. And I go, yeah. And he goes, there's more to this. And he goes, he needs your help. And I go, what do you mean he needs my help? He needs somebody to promote him. And we know you can do it. So I went and listened to him, and he did 3 originals. Just blew me away. It's like a little Prince, you know. Plays the sax, plays keyboards, plays everything, mixes it himself, you know. Just tremendous. So I listened to him, and he comes up to me. I'm sitting at the bar. He comes up to me after he plays, and he goes, well, what did you think, Mr. Barber? And I go, God, I'm getting old. I go, first of all, my name's Paul. And number one, I think you are fantastic. And he goes, would you be interested in booking me and representing me? I go, well, I'd love to, but I'm going to tell you, I haven't done this. He goes, I think you can do it. And I go, well, I think I can too. So I asked him, how many shows you play in a month? And he goes, well, I think I played 2 in the last month. And I go, really? And I go, how long do you play for? And he goes, well, 3 to 4 hours. And I go, what are they paying you? And he goes, well, $100. And I looked at him and I go, I'm working with you. And I hate
Somebody who cares about what bands get paid?
I hate it when people take advantage of musicians. Musicians work so hard. All that people see are the 4 hours when they're on stage and everybody's like, oh, you know, they don't see the other 20 hours a week they put into honing their craft, you know. It's a lot of work. And so I said, okay, I'll take care of you. And I got on the phone the next day and I booked him 22 shows his first month, and the cheapest one was $250. So he made more money in a month than he had made in his whole career, and we have been best friends ever. He's like my son. I love the guy. He's got a great band called Waves Collide. They're fantastic.
I know their bass player.
Yeah, they're here.
David.
They're here this Thursday night, the Duel. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but anyway, so that's why I got into it. And as I started working more with venues and seeing how some of these owners treated the musicians, it made me angry. You know, they come in there and they play their butt off. They want to charge them. They won't even give them a hamburger or a drink. You know, I'm like, for God's sakes, when they're working here, they're part of you. They're your staff. We're all family, you know.
Clubs who do bookings, take note.
Well, I'm not, you know, I want to give the house away. You know, I've got one band. I won't
I'm
mention
not
any.
suggesting giving the house away, but I mean, you said the words,
Right.
take care of your band. They're your family too.
Yeah, exactly. We're all family here. And it's, there's one band, I won't mention the name, but they were a good band, but I booked them once and what a shit show. They were great, but they went over there. You know, I'll give a band $100 drink comp for the band, and I'll give them each a meal. And that's only fair, you know. I give that to my employees, and we're all family here.
Wait, you give your employees $100 drink?
No.
That's neat.
Sign me up.
Let's correct that. They get all the
Start
diet.
tomorrow.
They get all the Diet Coke they can drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, they were over their $100 in 45 minutes, and they asked for more. And I said, you know what? I'll give you more the next time you play here, which will be never again. And they haven't been here since.
Whoops.
But you know, when I look for in a band, and to be really frank with you, I get so many emails a day, you guys. I feel like the biggest jerk in the world because I don't get back to everybody. I'm going to be really honest with you, because if I answered every email every day, I couldn't do my job or even talk to my wife. And what really gets me is when they get my phone number and then they start blowing it. I got a guy called me at 12:30 at night, a booking agent that you guys know, called me at 12:30 at night last Saturday to try to book his band. I'm like, I'm kind of asleep right now, you know. But I look for bands. The first thing I look for, and I'll be really frank with you, is vocals. Because you know what? There is thousands of good guitar players out there. And now with bar chords, there's probably 2,000. But you know.
You leave barcodes alone.
Yeah.
I love barcodes.
I do too.
That's what I play.
That's why I can still play. Not very well. That's why I do this. I'm a lot better at this. But I look for vocals, which is why John made me get up from my machine that I was winning at and walk over to see him. Mm-hmm. Vocals are everything to me. If you got good vocals and you build a good band around them, you're special. You're special because nothing will wreck a great song than somebody singing it like they just got hit by a bike or a car or something, you know? So that's what I look for, our vocals. There's a girl I saw at your open jam, Beth.
Yeah, she was here last week.
Sing the
Episode
Chrome off
2.
a trailer hitch.
She'll be here Wednesday.
She has fantastic vocals. And
I might edit that part out.
yeah,
She can sing a golf ball through a garden hose.
yeah.
Hard and aggressive.
Lay back with a beer afterward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and the other thing I look
Steve
for,
Hill, you lucky SOB.
I can tell all the bands right now the biggest hint from bar owners, because we all talk, you know, we share stories.
Yeah, I want to get more into that, but
Absolutely. Because that's something I tell every band I talk to.
Well, it's really changed. I personally, a lot of times I'm fighting with starting a little earlier and ending a little earlier, but I just don't think that's what music's about. Music's a night thing. And so I fight that. There's some shows like on weeknights on Thursdays will start at 8 because it's a school night, you know. But on Saturday or Friday night, I don't want my night over at midnight. You know, if you're in this business, you shouldn't. But the thing is, what happens, and all of us are talking about it, and I've asked all the agents, and, you know, when I ask them, they're all like, oh, yeah, we can do that, but then they never do it. And what the bar owners want more than anything right now are 2 sets, because 3 sets are the kiss of death, because what happens after that second break, we lose 40% of our audience. So if you do 2 sets, bars are going to love you. That's one thing.
As a musician, I love 3 sets because sometimes you have to run to the bathroom so freaking bad.
Has it
As
shown?
a drummer, I don't get to just walk away. Like if you have 2 guitar players, oh, you got it, I'll be good. No, but I do know what you're talking about with the 3 sets.
There's no bass player here tonight? I didn't think so. I didn't see any houses out there with wheels on it. Whoa.
There are drummers here, though.
Your
and
brother is going to kill me for that one, but I'm just teasing, you know.
Brant's not homeless. Here's the Brant.
All right.
No, Brant lives in Brantwood.
Brantwood.
Got like 50 guards and 40
Missouri.
acres. And... So kids,
No.
learn how to play the drums.
Kim
You'll be
has
rich.
50 acres, and Brant just gets to live there rent free.
Yeah. Learn how to play the drums, marry beautiful women, have a great career, and you too can have a nice life.
Such is life. Cheers.
So that's, you know, one thing that's really important. 2 sets we really want to see, guys.
Have you seen it make a difference? Do you notice
yeah.
there's less people leaving because of it?
I can tell you from looking at my POS system and seeing what my rings are from 12:15 to 1:15, dramatically drops. That last set, I don't know what it is. And, you know, and I'll tell you where it really hurts is I'm pretty good here because I'm kind of on an island because there's not a lot of competition around here for me. But, you know, I go to Stillwater when I had Ziggy's at Stillwater before I let that go. There are a million places. Stillwater's a walking town. You can walk everywhere. You take a break,
Right.
see you later. They never come back. So that late break is big.
It could be. I don't know. Personally, here in Minnesota, I still feel like midnight rolls around and people are like, well, let's beat the cops home.
Yeah.
You know, and
Here
they're
in
getting out no
Wisconsin,
matter
though,
what's
In
happening.
Wisconsin, they drink till the next day.
Oh, well, that's true.
But
Would you suggest testing to see what works for your bar? I mean, because
I know it does.
some bars are different, right?
well, next year, you know what I'm doing? Every band has to sign the contract at the beginning of the year that they're playing 2 sets if they want to play here.
Fair enough.
I have to. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I want to be here 3 years from now. In that last hour, it's 52, 54. How many weeks are in our year? 52 weeks a year. There's a
52.
difference sometimes. You know, it's a tough business, you guys. It's not like it used to be because youth is not quite into, you know, let's face it, the internet and computers have pretty much put a big shot in the music business, you know.
Change the scene.
Yeah,
Quite-
100%.
If you're a band right now, you have to tour if you're going to make. I got a really good friend of mine who out of Nashville. He's always down in Tennessee, and I used to bring him up here to play all the time. Scott Holt. He was Buddy Guy's guitar player, and he's one of the best musicians around. And Foghat bumped into him about 3 years ago, and they fell in love with him, and they built a relationship. Now he's the lead singer and songwriter for Foghat, and they have a new album that came out. It's 7 on the charts. Foghat hasn't been relevant in 20 years, and they're 30 years, and they got the number 7 song. It's just behind the new Stones album on Billboard, and he is so happy, and I'm so happy for him. But anybody can make it if you're good and you're devoted, and you really, really care about what you're doing. If you got talent, you can make it, you know.
And if you write a song about a solar eclipse or anything
Yeah.
regarding a solar eclipse, your hit can be number one on the Billboard chart 30 years later. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Black Hole Sun became the number one hit on
that
Billboard
song.
chart
I
last
love
week.
that song.
There was a lot of weird things that day, but yeah, I mean,
Or you
Thank-
can sit in your
Okay.
parents' basement in
Weird,
Owatonna and write
no,
a song
but that,
about
no,
fireflies.
weird, but that's awesome though. That they, I mean, who knew
Right.
that they obviously didn't. You know, they were hoping for a number one then.
Right.
30 years later.
You know, it's yeah, kids find it on TikTok and it blows up. But Paul, a question I wanted to ask you is, say I'm in a band and you'd never heard of me. What is the best way for me to get your attention? What would you like to see me send you? Do I need to
Send me an email with video,
video?
because I will not book a band unless I've watched quite a bit of them. I've only booked, and this is going to sound terrible, in 7 years, I think I've only booked 3 bands through an email, and all 3 of them sent me video. I'll get emails from people that'll say like, "Hey, I got this band, you know, we're really good, blah, 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 blah. How about booking us?" I'm like, they didn't tell me their website.
Right.
They didn't tell me their Facebook page. They sent me no video. They sent me no photos. I don't have no idea what they are. That's like asking me, "Hey, mister, I know you don't know me, but will you give me $1 million? I'll pay you back." You know,
Sure,
that's
sure.
not going to happen.
Now, is that the same with agents? You want that same information from agents as well?
No, the agents. Yeah. No, I love them.
The good ones.
Yeah.
I got 3 that I work a lot with, and I should tell them all 3 of them are really good. And Chris Bowden, Greg Aspie, and Chad Higgins. And I love working with those 3 because they're professional. They don't try to sell me something just to sell me something to keep the band with them. They actually really want it to work. And those 3 are shining diamonds in this industry. The big thing is like I said, I only booked 3 bands. I got an email. In fact, I've gotten the agents a lot of bands. Like this one I got for Chad. I got an email from Nathan Hansen, one of the nicest kids in the world, one of the best rising.
I've played in a band with him before.
Have you?
Yep.
One of the best rising country kids out there. He impressed the hell out of me. You know, I had in-ear monitors. Then I have more stage.
Imagine that.
They're
But
amazing.
but he sent me a really nice email, and it was different. You know, like he actually was thinking about it. And he sent me video. And I thought, oh, my God. I called up Ziegler, and I said, "Hey, here comes your competition."
Yeah, right.
Because I love Tim, good friend, and he's made my business very successful. Nicest guy in the world. But now what I'm doing is I'm booking him. People love him. He's blowing up. He was another one booking himself, and I think he was getting taken advantage of. And I said, "You need an agent." And he goes, "Would you help me?" I go, "Call Chad." Chad signed him. He's been with Chad 3 years now.
Good.
Yeah. And so good, so professional, so nice,
And he's genuine.
so genuine.
He's extremely
Love that
genuine. I don't think there's a bad bone in that kid's body.
No, it's not.
Absolutely not.
So when these bands out here send you videos, does it make a difference to you if it's a professionally done EPK, so mixed down sound, professional quality cameras, or you just a phone is good enough?
Well, with a new iPhone, you can do some pretty good stuff. I've got some video live shows with my iPhone that would actually rival some of the professional stuff. But obviously, you're going to sound a lot better if you do it professionally. It's going to take an average band and make them sound above average, really, because you can play with the equalizers and that. But another
Get your
thing,
live video now, comacstudios.com.
Right?
Call this guy right here. Best value in video.
Way better than an iPhone.
I was afraid he was going to say no, phone video is good enough, and we have to be like, Timmy,
No.
cut that part out.
No, but that's actually what I was getting at, Timmy. Call Timmy, and maybe I'll look at your video when you send it to me. No.
You heard it here first.
No, it's But I do think about it though when I get it. If they send me something that their 15-year-old sister took in the garage, I'm thinking, they don't seem like they're very serious about this.
Right.
And this is my investment, my livelihood here, and I want people that are as serious about their music as I am serious about having them here. So
Absolutely.
there was this place in West Minneapolis, 60, Sound 60. They always have a blue background. It's a beautiful stage. They shoot stuff over there. It's up by, I don't know, somewhere in the west suburbs. And I have a couple bands that I've been booking, They're pretty good, But they weren't that good, but they were pretty good. But they went out there and they had these things shot there, these promos, and they sent it to me. And I go, who the hell is this? They were that good. So it really makes a difference. And I also look at the set lists. I read every band's set list before I hire them. And if they got, here's the deal. If I only booked what I liked, I probably wouldn't be in business because not everybody wants to hear British alternative 90s and Seattle, but that's the stuff I like. But I got a friend of mine, Glenn Marty, if you're out there. When I don't like country. So when I opened up the place,
So much country hate.
I know. I wouldn't even put country on my jukebox.
Right.
And the jukebox guy goes to me, your play is a little low. And I go, well, it's country. And I'm like, oh, I put it on there. So Glenn was mad at me. And then all of a sudden I
Started making money off that jukebox?
no, I booked Tim Ziegler, to be honest with you. My Sundays were just, and I booked Tim. And I've had Tim over there every Sunday now for 7 years. And he has made my Sundays rival my Fridays. So now I really like country music. As long as I'm not listening to it. He comes up to me once and he goes to me, Paul, how come when I play, you go back in your office?
You don't want me to answer that.
I go, well, Tim, you're really good at what you do, and I really like you, and you're really good. And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, I hate country. He goes, you what? I go, I hate country music. And he goes, you don't like George Strait? And I go, I don't even know who the fuck George Strait is. And then I am now a country music fan. He's got me into some stuff, and it's really good. If nothing else will come in, I'll put it
Well,
on.
you're about to become a big fan of open mic nights.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be here Wednesday. We'll do it right.
We're really excited to have you here Wednesday. But, a biggest advice I can give bands is don't text the guy. Don't call the guy. He's got a wife and kids and a million things to do. Send him an email, but just don't send an email that says, hey, I got a band, da-da-da-da-da. Put some substance in it.
Yeah.
Put some some video, some pictures, set list. If a band sends me their set list, video, a website, a Facebook page, that's important to me, especially the Facebook page. And I'll tell you why. If you look at all these good bands in Nashville, there are so many good bands that should be national, but they're not. And what these companies look for when they come in, these record companies, they look for their followings. Well, how many people follow them? How many hits do they have, So that's why I look at the Facebook page, because if they have a big following, I know that it's not going to be just on me putting an ad on Facebook and hoping they come out. They have a following. People follow them. It's like Audio Circus. You guys got a following. Bootleg's got a following. I booked this band out of Minneapolis on Chad's recommendation. And the kid in it, he's so nice. He's so good. He used to be the lead guitar player in Quiet Drive, if you remember those guys. But I didn't want to book him because they had the worst name I ever heard in my life. They're called Some Shitty Cover Band. And they're the house band down at, I used to book the music for it down in Minneapolis. God, I'm getting old. I can't remember shit. Bar in the corner down there. Poorhouse, yeah. And they kill it when they draw there. So I go, all right, well, let me try them. Whenever they play here, they bring in more followers than anybody. They're from Minneapolis, and the place is filled with people from Minneapolis when they play.
I will say, I was in an original band once. We played Poorhouse, and I don't know if they still do this, but they kind of had it set up where earlier in the night they would have all their original bands.
Yep.
And then late, they'd have their cover band. Well, it made us think we were bigger than we were because at the end of the night it was some shitty cover band. So we
Yeah.
thought all these people were here to see us. We were this great punk rock band. No, they were there to see some shitty cover
Yeah.
band. But it still made us feel good that
Well,
we
yeah.
had a full room.
Well, that's good
regardless.
because those people see you then, you know?
Right.
But
And it was awesome.
Yeah, Will Caesar, one of the nicest kids in the world. He leads that band up. But when I first booked him here, I'd never heard him, you know, but I saw the video and it looked good to me. So I was upstairs that night and I was in the green room and I was working on something. And we had the jukebox on, and all of a sudden Van Halen Jump came on. And, God, you know, I like this song, you know. It's old, but I like it.
I love this song.
Yeah. So, Jake, you should learn that. Where are you? You could play that. It's another one for Audio Circus. But anyways, so I'm sitting there, I'm getting into it, I'm cleaning. All of a sudden I turn around. It wasn't the jukebox. It was a damn band doing a sound check. That's how good they are. So it's good. There's a lot of good young talent.
I judge my Van Halen covers pretty hard.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'll have to hear that someday and be the judge of this.
It's really, really good. And we got another up and coming young musician who I think's going to go a long way. His plays here a lot. His name is Josh Quinn, piano player. He's like, oh, thank you. How did you know I liked rum?
Producer Megan taking care of us.
Don't you love it when someone knows you like rum? So here's to you guys.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so he's so young. I'm looking at him, and I look at his dad, and I go, I know that guy. I hadn't saw him in 30 years. His father and I grew up together and went to grade school. So that's how much older I was than him, right? And so I looked at him. He goes, you want to hear anything? And I go, yeah, but you probably can't play. You know, could you maybe play My Old School? And he goes, oh, yeah, I love that song. And he kills it. And I'm thinking, I like young kids. Steely Dan, My Old School.
So this must have been another North St. Paul guy. Huh?
Yeah, he's a North St. Paul kid.
Right.
And North St. Paul really is
Rock and
music
roll capital of Minnesota.
Minnesota. There is so many good bands out there. Des Dickerson from Prince and Sky Church, Little Red Corvette. Saw him at the talent show.
Right.
I think I saw you there too, John. They were kicking you out because you were bugging the band.
Yeah, I remember, ever since I was a little boy, I grew up seeing some great bands. There was Obsession, Bryn Arons, and Jeff Loven, and phenomenal. Followed them throughout. But yeah, all North St. Paul grads. And I graduated from North St. Paul. Brant graduated from North St. Paul.
I grew up 2 blocks away, and I went to Hill Murray.
There was always such a rock and roll, community in North St. Paul. Like, we didn't care to be quarterback of the football team. We wanted to be in a band.
No, when that guy was quarterback in the football team, we were with his girlfriend with our guitar.
Hell yeah.
Or if you're the drummer, you were with multiple girlfriends and drums.
But when you talk about great musicians that
Feel me right, Brant? Never mind that, Kim.
Great musicians that came out of here.
Well before your time.
If any of you guys have ever seen this guy or seen this band, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I doubt ever because I'm a lot older than all of you. I think the best band, well, I'm a huge Replacements fan. Paul Westerberg is the best songwriter in the world, okay? Jigs Lee. I don't know if you guys know him. He's from White Bear Lake. He had a band called Kane, which was, I'm sorry, that's the best band to ever come out of Minnesota. They were tremendous. They traveled like crazy. Their second album that came out, back when they had AM Skip, on the radio channels, their song, Katie, was #1 on the whole eastern United States for 5 weeks. Marsh Edelson was their manager. They couldn't make it here. They came out with the best album, and they were a Zeppelin type. If you guys listen to their stuff, you won't believe it. They went down and shot the album cover in the stockyards down in South St. Paul. They wanted to dress up like minstrels, the Zeppelin thing, and they shot a bunch of pig guts on a cement floor and called the album A Pound of Flesh, and it killed their career. So Perception, becomes reality.
But in a punk rock Southern California, we call that Tuesday.
All right.
I remember Till Tuesday. I love Amy Mann. But I mean, if you got a band, just send video, send pictures, send your set list.
Preferably video from ComacStudios.com.
Yes.
Yeah, having worked with booking agents who said, yeah, be happy to represent you. You need to have professional video. I can't sell you without it. If you don't, I can't work with you.
That's a good agent.
Yeah, because
you sell it like it is.
A lot of times you'd try to sell your band to a corporate gig, and you want those, a lot of money.
You need those.
But if you're sending phone video to somebody who's booking a corporate gig, they're like, what am I looking at here? Do these people care about what they do?
See what I mean? F the iPhone.
So we talked about,
ComacStudios.com.
earlier in the show, I mentioned that marketing and promotion is something you will always do. And I mean that because
This guy did it better than
your,
anybody.
your first
Honest to God.
impression that you want to make, whether you're trying to sell yourself to a bar or a fan or an agent or whatever, go as far as you can in your mind. What can I do to make this more attractive? How can I sell myself better than I am now? And if you think you're doing enough, you're not. So keep going. How can I promote this in a way that is catchy and attractive and professional and looks like we know what we're doing and we want to make you a success as well?
ComacStudios.com will help you make you look like you know what you're
That's
doing.
some of the best
Absolutely.
advice that John just said right
Keep
there
going.
is if you want to be successful, if you follow what he said, you'll have a really good chance. And another thing, I think, when you start your band, decide what you want to be. Dress like a rock star.
Like you belong on stage. right?
Paul, how do you feel about Barbie shirts on drummers?
Well, if he's married to a Barbie, it's okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well played. Well played. Well played.
But dress for success. I've had
You don't see the camera right there? Oh,
that's a hidden camera that's going out to your parents' house. And decide what you want to be. And this is going to sound weird, but back from my booking days, there's pay scales. Okay, a beginning cover band, you're at the bottom. A cover band that actually has a lead singer, you're up there. And if somebody can actually play the guitar and drums, it's really good. But in
I don't know.
booking bands and working with all kinds of festivals, the difference between a cover band and a tribute band is about $1,500 a night. So if you're a really good cover band and you want to make more money, just cover like 6 different bands and say, I'm a tribute band. Because
that's a good point. There's a
where it's
tribute
at
fest.
right
There's no cover fest. I think we got to start that cover fest.
I know. I should do
How
that.
would you book to make sure nobody plays the same songs?
Jam Fest.
Jam fest.
We'll have a day-long jam so everybody
Dude, that'd
can
be
get
crazy. That'd be insane.
My dream my whole life, which will never happen, of
Don't
course.
say never say never.
Yeah, that's a good song. Oh, that reminds me of Romeo Void. Never say never. But you remember that song, don't you?
I think that's a Bieber song.
I might like you better if we slept together, but
Oh,
never say
yeah.
never. That one. Yeah.
Shit just got weird.
I would, if you're out there and you're actually going through YouTube and you're really bored, Paul Westerberg, we'd sure love to have you play an acoustic show here.
Call out.
Right
out.
on.
We'll make sure to send it to him.
And I got a great drummer for you. You can do a White Stripes thing, right, Brent?
And he wears a Barbie shirt.
And he'll bring his wife, which is a bonus.
The best part. I mean, yes, bonus. Bonus.
All right?
He got it.
It's like Beavis and Butthead.
Thank God Brad doesn't know where I live.
You guys are fun. I want to say something. I think it is so cool that these two care so much about the local music scene, because you know what? They ain't getting rich doing this. We need more sponsors. If you support local music, come sponsor these guys.
Right on.
Thank God we've got Hop and Barrel,
Yes,
which
thank you to Hop and Barrel
is-
very, very much.
I think is the best beer around.
It's pretty damn good.
And the Ziggy's place is sponsor them. They're pretty nice guys.
I'm going to take home a couple of these glasses, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We've so we have a sponsorship level sheet. Please contact us if you'd like more information about sponsoring. We'd love to have you because we'd like to plan some big events and
Absolutely. Well,
bring in some big names and have some live music at a show and
Something
you could
we're gonna talk
sponsor
about soon.
bringing someone in.
Again, is our award show.
Yeah,
We got
that'd
that
be
coming up.
we are
We're
going to have
do it.
an end of the year award show.
We
Put
got to
that
design
together.
awards
Do it right.
and get them done.
Yeah, we'll get that put together soon. Paul, do you mind taking questions from some people? I know Jake is itching to ask you some questions.
Absolutely.
Don't screw with me, Jake.
Hey, Jake, come on up, buddy.
Come on. Well, put the microphone at the table thing.
Nope. Not since my microphone cut out.
Hold it up so I have to jump for it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that blew my question. No. Look, this is kind of a reverse question from an establishment point of view. One of the reasons that I believe that Ziggy's is so popular with bands is because there are so many clubs out there that when they book bands, they expect them to have 50 people in their trunk. But the way you've built these places has been you're building the clientele established with the bar. So anytime somebody comes here, they know they're going to get awesome music.
Great point.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
But that's also, I think, maybe why your inbox is overflowing is because there are many bands that are out there that know that one of the places to play is Ziggy's because you always have that crowd. And to John's points, like I'd rather play to 5,000 people. Every time we play there, and every time we played here or in Stillwater in Audio Circus, it's been a packed house, which makes it even more fun.
That's why we book you so much.
Well, but how do you communicate that to bands on the back end? What decorum do you expect from them when they come to say, make me want to hire you, not just the first time, make me want to hire you back?
Well, that's a really good question.
Great
Very
question,
good.
Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who put him in here? I got to think now. No. You have to earn your audience. I have to earn my customers by giving them good food, good drinks, good service, and fantastic music. But where I am blessed here is I have the best staff anywhere in the world.
You know what? I have to say, give it up for the staff. Absolutely. Including the newly found producer, Megan.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I've got a great GM and Doug Isaacson, and I got a great AGM and Megan, and I've got
producer.
Yeah, I'm just really lucky, you guys. But we're only as good as all of us. We're family. I would never ask anybody that works here to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And it's you all have to pitch in. And the thing with a band is when you're new, you have to earn your audience like we have to earn our customers. And what that means, energetic set lists, communicating with the audience. It's, talk back and forth to them. Another good one, good with that is Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson, New Skinnies. This guy's fantastic. And he's got such good audience rapport. Talk to your audience. Make friends with them. Make them want to come out and see you. It just doesn't happen overnight. You just get up on stage. If you're super good, it'll happen. But a lot of people that follow bands, it's a relationship. It's a group. It's a friendship. It's a family. This is my band,
Right.
And they follow them and they support them. And you have to build that. If you build that, they will come.
And and that's something like, I know we keep bringing it up, but like Audio Circus. Now, Brant, I get Riley is your actual daughter, but even if she wasn't, like you would, I didn't know that until somebody told me, but the way you guys act on stage together and the way you all interact together.
They like each other.
Yes. even if it's only on stage. No, I'm just kidding. Because you could see the bands who obviously have animosity towards each other, but when you go see an Audio Circus show, you're getting a genuine, fun, good time, and it made it so much more fun for me to capture in video because you could see that. So you actually made my job harder in editing because I have to make sure I capture that. How do I make sure I show that? And honestly, you can see the video when it comes out, but the only way to truly see it is to come and see it live.
Yeah. I keep the camera on his daughter more than most.
100%. Riley had her own camera. But see, Brant, as a drummer, Brant had two cameras. Brant had the drum cam, and he had a foot cam.
He's got his disco drums, too, that light up like Christmas.
Right.
But you know what I love about that band? Not because you're...
Jake's hair.
Oh, my God. You know
And the
what?
fan.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm
fan.
going to be really honest because I always am. So just like... And it's my wife tells me it's my downfall sometimes.
Oh, please be honest, Paul.
But Audio Circus was a 4-star band.
4 stars.
And
If
I'll
you
tell
bring
you
your
what,
band in
there's
here
not,
to
there's
see
not,
for
there's
the
not,
Good.
episodes.
It's not great, but it's good.
there's not many 4-star bands out there, guys.
Is it because Brant's in the
Yeah.
band?
No, Brant, yeah. Before Brant joined, there were 1. But when Jake joined that band, it completed him, and they are my largest ringing band in both venues.
I can't remember what song it was, but there was one song that Jake started singing.
Magic Power, I made him do it.
And I was having somebody listen to the audio, and they're like, I can't tell the difference from the original to
I know.
Jake.
I thought you were going to say it was on the 16th when they played Creep. That was really good.
Oh, that was good. You know, when I met Jake, Jake had a killer band with some really good, cool cats called Common Ground. I used to go see him all the time, and Jake was very kind to me and always talked to me, and was just a nice person.
Jake is one of the kindest people
Yeah.
I've ever met. So is Brant, and I know I give him so much crap,
Yeah.
but Brant, both of them, Barbie, Kim, I think you make, yeah.
But you know, the one more thing I want to say was how when the band really elevated when Jake joined them, but what it is that works for that band, besides they're all really talented, they've got a strong rhythm section. But the interaction on stage between
100%.
Jake and your daughter is incredible.
Yes.
It's just, there's
Absolutely.
so much energy. And if you see the video on that, I mean, they play off each other so well. I would have these guys every
That's what I'm
month
talking
if I
about.
could.
It's going to be so hard to edit because my work's cut out for me. Thank you guys. But I enjoy that. I actually like that because that's a challenge.
All right, I want to go back to a point that Jake brought up and that Paul commented on, and I would like to expand on that for the bands out there. And that is, you come into a great place that's got an established audience. And Paul says, don't lose the audience. So this is your opportunity to take those people that you're meeting tonight and make them fans of you. Because if you don't, the next time, if you're lucky enough to be listed there at that bar again, they're going to see that and go, nah,
Right.
let's go somewhere else.
100%.
And so you represent the bar you're playing in as well as you do yourselves. So you owe it to your family being in the club to do your best for them as well as you, because you elevate it all that way. You bring in bigger audiences to that bar. You bring in bigger audiences to your band and every other band that comes in and plays there as well. And that's what we're all trying to do. Lift everyone up, because that's the best way to be,
I
really.
could not agree more. Absolutely.
That's very stellar advice.
So, Paul, I love you, buddy.
I love
and
you.
thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Before we let him go, and Paul, this is a big question. Without mentioning band names, what is something or some things rather, and this, I think this is just as important. What are some things that you will see that you will never invite back again?
No, good question.
Well, I've got one in particular, and it's really hard for me because I'm not going to say names.
No names.
and he's a super good friend, and I haven't booked him in 2 years.
Cut. No, just
Here's the deal.
What do you look
Play
for?
what your audience wants, not what you want to play. Okay? Because nobody wants to hear, I'm just going to leave it at this. I've got a full dance floor with a lot of young kids dancing like crazy to start me up. They love it. They know the song. If you're 24 years old, you probably don't know the girl with the faraway eyes, so you probably don't want to break into that one next and empty out the dance floor.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
So your set list is important.
Yeah.
Set list. What else? Though? What?
well, there'll be a whole episode about that coming.
What?
What was that?
We'll have a whole episode about building a set list.
Absolutely.
And the name's important. I have the
What
best-
else? What, like, obviously we look at things like professional. You mentioned professionalism. You mentioned the way they act. Like, what are things that not just a set list, but you look at a band, and I mean, a band could have a stellar set list, but what are some things that you look at? And I think that, again, this is just as important for people to know. What, as a booker for this establishment or any establishment, what are you going to see? What are you looking for that you're going to say, I'm never bringing you back again?
I mean, imagine. Don't be hard to work with.
Well, here's the deal. I'm so sick of working with people that think they're the next John Lennon, because guess what? You're not. Okay? So check your ego at the door.
Yes.
Treat the staff nice.
Yes.
I instruct my staff to treat you with respect. Treat them with respect. I'm not going to bring anybody back that disrespects the staff, because this is my family. And they expect me to protect them. And I want, the whole thing when I started this, I'm about music, guys. Look at my Facebook page. My slogan is music is life, okay?
I'm going to get that tattooed on me, and I'll put your signature right under it.
I was going to get a tattoo, but
He thinks
I
I'm
don't think my
kidding.
wife would like that.
I'll actually do it,
All right.
Now, here's the thing. It's,
as long as he pays for it.
yeah, right. Tattoos are getting expensive.
Yes, sir.
I'll get a sponsor.
Just, be a nice person, Be the person your parents want you to be. No, it's like, just treat everybody the way, it's really simple. It's a golden rule. Treat everybody the way you'd want to be treated.
Couldn't agree more.
It's pretty hard to screw that up if you do that,
Right.
But also, I have some performances that really stand out in my mind. Probably too many of them, but there's a few that are real special. And I think just because of the show tonight, when I get home tonight, I'm going to dig up one and put it on my Facebook page, and you guys can go watch it. But it's probably one of the best live performances I've ever seen.
Audio Circus.
Yeah. Yeah, that one too. No.
No, not
It
this.
was, I booked the music for the city of Stillwater too for their 4th of July shows and that, which we need to talk about. But
See?
the
You're welcome.
we had a show there a couple of years ago, and this band covered Creep by Radiohead. And the guy killed it, and he walked the entire festival grounds down there singing on a wireless.
Was his name John Sonic?
His name was John Sonic, and it's one of the best, the very best live performances I've ever seen. I'll put it on my Facebook page.
Wait, was it really John?
Oh, it's tremendous. Just blew it away.
I was joking, but I remember this time this mother effer was at the jam. I was like, Timmy, you're going to have to follow me with a camera. I'm like, wait, what? Not ready. So, yeah, that's awesome. Something I want to bring up, something that I've seen. And if you're in a bar and you're lucky enough to play any club, bar, don't be drunken assholes.
Oh, God. I'm glad you said that.
Please don't.
Yeah.
I want you guys to enjoy yourself and have a fun night too. But if you get drunk, you won't be back.
It's not good. I mean, the audience sees it, the staff sees it. Sometimes your band members who are not as drunk see it. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
It's like I said, you're always promoting yourselves.
100%.
When you're there, you're promoting yourself still
Everybody
because
says,
you want to come
yeah.
back.
Here's the deal.
Yes.
Everybody thinks, well, if I do some drugs and I drink, I sound better. And I go, I'm here to tell you,
No, you don't. Absolutely not.
You're like missing chords. And
It's
shit.
so easy to believe you do
I
that.
have a question in the audience.
Who knows the words to this song? Because I don't.
To Tip's point is another thing that's kind of a very much a turnoff for you is if a band cancels.
Oh yeah.
Jake just said, because it's got to be on the microphone, Jake. Jake just said that when a band cancels, what's your point?
Well, I didn't have any of them until COVID, and people
that
seem
was
to
a
get
mess.
COVID a lot lately when
Yeah,
they're tired, you know?
Sometimes it's
I think everybody uses that excuse now. I got COVID. Can't do it.
it's difficult on all sides.
I
you
mean,
know?
if you're a legitimate cancel for a legitimate
Right.
reason, it's understandable. Things,
Yes.
life happens.
But you know what you find out right then? You find out how good their agent is.
right?
Because their agent
Is on
will
the
work
hook.
their butt off to get somebody to replace them for you. And if they don't,
Yeah,
That's because that agent wants to get paid.
yep,
right.
that's a good point. Guess I didn't think about it that way.
And I mean, yeah. But if you don't have an agent and you're falling out, hopefully you know other bands that are good that could replace you. You don't want to give them somebody that's gonna embarrass you.
Right.
But yeah, having been through this
Commitment.
on both sides now.
Yeah, true. We talk about this all the time, actually.
No, in like 2008, I started getting strep throat, and it never went away. And eventually, I had to have my tonsils out.
Then,
Well,
you, got
throughout
the, then
this,
you got the bullhorn, too.
yeah, throughout this whole experience, there were times where it was like, guys, I can't do this show.
Right.
It hurts, you know.
Oh, you could wreck your voice.
So we had to contact some establishments and say, hey, you know, here's what it is. The singer's got strep. He can't sing.
Life happens sometimes. And
And-
it's true, like legit.
Right. And
And there's truly not, especially a singer.
right.
The Metallica had a video out and they said, I wouldn't ask you to do a drum roll if your arm fell off.
Right. Right.
Same thing, because James Hetfield was sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you're legit sick,
Right.
A lot of
And
good
you're the
musicians
singer.
have gotten their start from filling in for people.
right?
Yeah. Illness can suck, but we came up against some people. There was one guy in particular that said, well, you're finished in this town. You cancel on me, you'll never play here again. And I know every other booking agent, so I'm talking to them. And we're like, good luck. No, the guy was a owner.
I
sure
love
to edit
booking
that out.
agents. Booking agents are really entertaining to me.
Now,
They're
booking
entertaining to me,
agents,
too.
they usually understand.
Never get them off the phone. It's like a 20-hour conversation. But you know, it's just the one last thing I'd like to say is that when I said, you know, don't act like you're the next John Lennon, I'm really serious. I mean, you know, be nice to people, be humble, because you know what? Humble is endearing to people. And if you're talented and you're humble, and I'm going to leave you with this one little story. I was down in Nashville, and my poor wife, I dragged her to one more show at 1 a.m. I thought she was going to kill me.
28.
I was walking down the street and I heard somebody playing Purple Haze. I'm like, holy shit, is that good? So I go, Jane, 1 minute. She's like, you know. So I walked in there and I'm standing there and this young kid playing by himself is just killing it. And Jane was sweet as she was, let me stay and talk to him because I'm going to bring him up here. And I went and saw him play 4 shows that week. And finally, the last night I'm there, he was so humble and so kind. And I go, you are just way too talented for 19 years old. I go, you got to have a music background. He goes, well, yeah. I go, well, did your dad play? And he goes, well, yeah. And I go, well, maybe I know what he played. Was he in a band? And he's like, well, you want to say, you know? He goes, come on. I go, I'm not going to judge you. I was a bass player for Bon Jovi.
Oh, well, then.
But he didn't want to live on his dad's laurels. And I had
Gift cards. Anybody right now that could name Bon Jovi's bass player?
Alec Jones said.
Not you. That he gave the name away. No gift card.
You guys are great. Thank you so much
Everybody
for
give it for
everything.
Paul Barber.
Thank you all for coming. And Johnny and Timmy, thank you for everything you do
Thank
for the
you,
local
Paul, for
music.
having us. Everybody, we are the Stage Unhinged. We are actually going to take about a 10-minute break, and we will be right back with Toonie, and we will continue the discussion on
Second.
booking.
Right on.
The Stage Unhinged podcast is brought to you by Ziggy's Hudson Live Music Bar and Restaurant, as well as the Hop and Barrel, both located in Hudson, Wisconsin. Make sure you stop into Ziggy's Hudson Live Music Bar and Restaurant virtually every night of the week. They have something going on. Karaoke, piano bar, most importantly, live music. They also host us, the Stage Unhinged podcast, live every other Monday. Make sure you stop in, check out the podcast live, things you'll only see live, not on the edited version, as well as trying the Unhinged burger. While you're at it, go ahead and try one of the many offerings from Hop and Barrel. Their brews are brewed to perfection by owner Justin, and they taste amazing and pair well with just about anything. Make sure you get your Hop and Barrel beer while you're enjoying the Stage Unhinged podcast.